Future Global Coffee Co.? That sounds like an evil conglomerate from a bad sci-fi movie.
The name is ridiculous, but Keurig basically swallowed JDE Peet's whole. 96% ownership is a brutal squeeze out.
It caps off an insane Q1, $438 billion in closed deals. The mega deal drought is officially dead.
Don't pretend that 155% surge is strategic genius, Nate. It's mostly just desperate AI panic buying.
I'm blaming cheap debt. Either way, the bankers are thrilled. Speaking of shaking things up, did you see what DuPont just quietly sold off? The rundown, $438 billion in 1 quarter. I had to read that spreadsheet twice.
Up 155% year over year. The financing window isn't just open, Nate. Somebody threw a brick through it.
56 deals over $1 billion already. The mega deal drought is officially dead and buried. Bankers are actually smiling on the subway again.
Well, they're smiling because of the AI arms race, mostly. But the consumer stuff is what caught my eye this morning. Danone is buying Huel for $1 billion flat.
Wait, Huel? The powdered food the crypto guys drink so they don't have to stop coding to chew?
That's exactly the one. Danone wants to bulk up their protein portfolio, $1 billion for liquid meals.
I respect the pivot. Speaking of billion-dollar checks, Gilead is dropping $2.2 billion on Ouro Medicines.
T-cell engagers for autoimmune diseases. It's a massive premium for a very early stage pipeline.
See, I look at that, and I just see the AI halo effect. Ouro has all that computational drug discovery marketing. Gilead is just paying the AI tax like everyone else.
Oh, come on. That's such a banker take. Read the clinical data. They aren't paying $2 billion for an algorithm, Nate. They're buying the actual biology. The T-cell mechanism is what justifies that valuation.
Fair enough. I'll let you have the science. But you have to give me the corporate theater. Did you see DuPont is quietly selling off Kevlar and Nomex to Arklin?
Talk about burying the lead in a press release. They are literally shedding their bulletproof legacy.
It's a classic portfolio shakeup. Just like Intel's scrounging up the cash to buy back that 49% stake in their Ireland fab joint venture.
Unwinding JVs is my love language.
I know it is, but none of these are the biggest flex of the week. That award goes to the coffee aisle.
96.22%.
Exactly. Keurig Dr Pepper just squeezed out basically every remaining shareholder of JDE Peet's.
Rafael Oliveira is stepping in as CEO of whatever they're calling this new caffeine monopoly.
Future Global Coffee Co. That's the actual internal working title.
You're joking.
I wish I was. We need to look at the math on how they actually pulled off that squeeze out. The big one.
$438 billion. I genuinely had to refresh my terminal 3 times this morning because I thought the data feed was broken.
A 155% jump from last year. The mega deal drought is officially dead and buried. We had 56 deals cross the 1 billion mark in Q1 alone. 56.
Eased financing conditions are a hell of a drug. Everyone is suddenly finding billions in the couch cushions. Though the analysts are claiming half of this surge is just an intense cross-sector arms race for AI capabilities.
AI is the shiny object, sure. But the real story is old school consolidation. When debt gets even slightly cheaper, bankers get very busy. I should know. I used to be one of the guys pitching these exact empire-building roll-ups, which brings us to the caffeine-fueled elephant in the room, Keurig Dr Pepper.
Right. They just officially secured 96.22% of JDE Peet's. I love that specific number because it means the mandatory squeeze-out is locked. If you are a retail investor holding out in that remaining 3.78%, your days are numbered. They're taking the keys whether you like it or not.
They essentially just bought the global coffee supply chain. With Rafael Oliveira stepping in as the new CEO, this is a masterclass in scale. They're mashing together North American pods with European retail dominance. It's a brilliant play.
The footprint is massive, I'll give you that. But can we talk about the corporate theater happening right now? The internal working title for this rebrand is literally Future Global Coffee Co.
I actually kind of like it. It states the ambition clearly. You're building a global coffee company for the future.
Oh, come on. It sounds like a dystopian megacorp from a Ridley Scott movie. Future Global Coffee Co. Drink your brown liquid ration, citizen. It's terrible branding masking a ruthless corporate takeover.
You're just mad they didn't hide a clever joke in the SEC filing. But look at the broader strategy. It isn't just about roasting beans. It's about raw pricing power against the grocery chains. When you control that much shelf space globally, you dictate the terms to the retailers.
I strongly disagree on the pricing power argument. Retailers are pushing back aggressively on consumer goods right now. Target and Walmart aren't going to roll over just because Rafael Oliveira has a shiny new future Global Coffee Co. business card. Plus, the integration costs on a cross-border deal this sprawling are going to be an absolute nightmare. The footnotes on their next earnings report are going to be a bloodbath of restructuring charges.
Integration is always a bloodbath, but the financing window is open right now. You strike while the capital is cheap. They saw the Q1 momentum and capitalized on it. And they aren't the only ones using this exact playbook to bulk up fast.
Which is exactly what we are seeing bleed over into the rest of the consumer and healthcare spaces. Danone is dropping $1 billion on Huel to buy their way into the protein trend.
The tech bros are going to be absolutely thrilled their favorite meal replacement powder is now French.
We're also tracking Gilead dropping $2.2 billion on Ouro Medicines just to get their hands on a T-cell engager program.
The M&A arms race is very real across the board. We're going to look at why Big Pharma is suddenly writing massive checks for autoimmune targets right after this. Voices. So the consensus on the street right now is that the mega deal drought is officially dead and buried. Analysts are pointing to 56 deals over $1 billion just in Q1.
Right, and they're attributing that 155% volume surge, which, by the way, $438 billion in a single quarter is wild, to two things: eased financing and this intense cross-sector AI arms race.
I love an arms race analogy.
I know you do, but I have to push back on the AI narrative. It's such a lazy talking point from the sell side. Look at the actual deals driving that $438 billion.
You don't think AI is driving the volume? Every pitch deck I see right now has machine learning slapped on page 2.
Pitch decks, sure, but look at the actual signed paper. Danone is buying Huel for $1 billion. That's protein powder, Nate, not artificial intelligence.
Wait, really? Danone bought Huel? The tech bro meal replacement sludge?
$1 billion for the sludge, and Gilead dropping $2.2 billion for Ouro Medicines. That's a T-cell engager program for autoimmune diseases. Real science, not a chatbot.
Okay, fair. But you can't discount the financing environment. The debt markets are finally thawing. Buyers can actually model a return without getting laughed out of the credit committee. That's the real unlock here.
Exactly my point. It's the cost of capital coming down that's driving the volume, not some sudden urge to acquire a neural network.
But the AI FOMO is real, Maya. Even if the big prints are in healthcare and consumer, the fear of missing the next tech wave is making boards more aggressive. They're tired of sitting on their hands. The animal spirits are back.
Animal spirits, spoken like a true former banker who misses his Patagonia vest.
I still wear the vest on weekends. It's very practical.
I'm sure it is. But speaking of massive traditional deals driving the volume, we need to talk about the corporate theatre happening over at Keurig Dr Pepper right now. Spill the tea.
I just can't get past the name. Future Global Coffee Co. It sounds like placeholder text a junior analyst forgot to delete from a pitch deck.
It absolutely was a placeholder, but when you manage to squeeze out 96.22% of JDE Peet's shareholders, I guess you earn the right to name your new coffee empire whatever you want. Rafael Oliveira comes in as CEO and immediately gets handed the most generic corporate moniker in history.
It's peak corporate theater, but honestly, I respect the flex. They own the coffee aisle now. Though if we're talking about wild corporate moves, we need to talk about what DuPont is doing in the shadows right now.
Oh, you mean quietly shedding the only products anyone actually associates with them?
Come on, it's a brilliant portfolio optimization. They're offloading Kevlar and Nomex to Arklin. They're dropping bulletproof vests to focus on high-margin specialty materials. It's exactly what a legacy industrial should be doing right now.
I completely disagree. You don't just quietly divest Kevlar. That's your moat. That's your brand equity. Arkland just bought a century of goodwill while DuPont is out here trying to pretend they're a nimble tech startup.
You're being way too sentimental. The mega deal drought is over, Maya. We just hit $438 billion in Q1 completed deals. That's a 155% jump from last year. 56 deals over $1 billion. DuPont is just reading the room and raising cash while financing conditions are hot.
56 mega deals is insane, though I suspect half of that 155% surge is just everyone slapping the word AI on their press releases to get a premium.
Hey, if it works, it works. My banker senses are tingling just looking at the fee pools on these things. Speaking of billion-dollar premiums, are we ready to talk about Gilead dropping $2.2 billion on Ouro Medicines?
Only if we also talk about Danone trying to convince us that $1 billion buyout of Huel makes them a health company.
Grab your protein shakes. Well, tomorrow's radar.
So looking at tomorrow's filings, I'm just sitting here refreshing the SEC page waiting for the definitive agreement on Danone buying Huel. $1 billion for powdered protein meals.
It's a massive consumer play, Maya. The macro trend is obvious. Everyone wants high-protein convenience right now.
Oh, come on. $1 billion for glorified tech bro gruel. The valuation is completely detached from reality.
Look, 56 deals over $1 billion closed this quarter. The money has to go somewhere. The mega deal drought is officially over.
Just because financing is easier doesn't mean you should overpay for meal replacements. I'm much more interested in the healthcare filings hitting tomorrow. Gilead is dropping $2.2 billion for Ouro Medicines.
T-cell engagers are the new AI. Everyone wants one.
At least they actually treat something. Oh, and watch for Keurig Dr Pepper's paperwork. Word is they're officially naming their new JDE Peet's empire Future Global Coffee Co.
I refuse to believe a real branding agency got paid for that name.
A banker definitely came up with it. Catch you tomorrow.